the clinical community is interesting because they're the ones who determine adoption and utilization. And so far, from the interaction I've had with some of your team, and certainly the marketplace, it looks like that clinician, physician population is really looking for this, and there's not going to be a lot of convincing here.
Yeah, I mean, we have patients in our clinical trials who've had 9 interventions on the same leg previously. No doctor wants to keep doing that, but they don't have a choice, right? I mean, patient keeps coming in, ischemia is still there. They try to do what they can, but it closes down in a week, in a month, you know, in 3 months, and the patient's back to where they were. So it's an immense level of frustration for the clinical community that they don't have the tools and procedures to be able to kind of solve the problem. Because amputation doesn't solve the problem, right? It creates a whole nother wound to heal, right? Loss of muscle mass, a loss of ability to get around, right? So they know that this kind of pathway we're on with the patient, we're failing often, and so yeah, they're ready. And but we're at the beginning of that.
And then not even touching into the mental health side of things. I mean, I just could not imagine that predicament moving forward downrange on that too.
Yeah, I mean, we've have patients. In fact, we've got a great patient video. A lady named Cindy who had already lost 1 limb, and so she'd already been through losing one, and she was, had basically been told that she was going to lose the next one. And she just was like, I mean, I'm ready to die, right? Like, I'm not going to go through that. I'm not going to, completely lose. I mean, it's as simple as, people don't think about this, but, when you lose a limb, your center of gravity has changed, right? So even sitting up in bed, losing one is hard. You lose both, it's, you can imagine, like, try doing sit-ups. You have no counterweight, right? So getting to the toilet for yourself, right? Getting to make a cup of coffee, just moving around, and not only for the patient, but the family. It's similar in many ways to having, a family member who's had a stroke, right? It's tremendously impactful for the whole ecosystem around the patient. So you can understand why they kind of, patients unfortunately kind of
push that can down the road.
It's
right?
the thing, I mean, we know, hip replacement's very safe, but often hip replacement is associated with a deterioration because 6 weeks in the hospital, you're in rehab, you lose muscle mass, you lose mobility, and everything else that's kind of been working in the background comes out, and